Hello, my fellow engineers. I wanted to share the first lesson of my brand new expert level course, this full motorbike CAD build, with all of you. It's live on Udemy right now. The link is in the description. Thank you to all of you who've signed up already. You guys are awesome. And for the rest of you guys who are interested in developing your CAD skills, check out my courses on Udemy. I teach you to go from a complete beginner to a pro in Creo Parametric. And so, with that, enjoy this first lesson preview of my full motorbike build. Have fun, guys. Hello everybody, and welcome to the first part creation video of the course. I thought there would be no better way to kick things off by choosing one of the hardest parts to create, to really get you guys to grips with how this course is going to work. And we're starting off obviously with the motorcycle frame. As you can see by the engineering drawing, there is a lot going on, lots of moving parts, a lot of different elements that we need to bring together. A considerable amount of styling is going to be used to bring this form together, but this is the foundation of our motorbike, and I thought that, yeah, let's get started with how we want to continue, and that is getting you guys excited about the products that we are going to be creating throughout the whole course. So with that, I'm going to start taking us through how we put this together, follow along with the engineering drawing, and let's get started. So in a new part, I've set my units correctly to mmks, absolute. And the way I'm going to do this to begin with is I'm going to start with a pole at the top right of the frame. And I'm going to do that by sweeping a line. And to start off with, I'm just putting the dimensions of this line in. As you can see, I want that to be a distance of, hold on. There we go. That is going to be 370 away. That is going to not behave. Hold on. There we go. That has an angle of 33. That distance there is 370. That total length there is 150. And that there is a distance of 350. So that's the line we want to create. 33 angle. Bottom point is 350 from the baseline. Top point is 370 away, and the total length is going to start off as 150. Okay, so we have a line in space, and we are going to choose that line again, and we are going to sweep that. So choose the sweep tool, choose the line, orientate our view, and let's just drop in a 50 diameter circle, and that will then have its own wall thickness of 6. Accept. Okay. Right, great start. We have a tube floating in space. So looking at the engineering drawing, what I want to do next is I'm just going to drop in a plane halfway down this. So that's going to be 75, okay. A huge amount of the work we do with a motorcycle frame is effectively setting ourselves up for success. So putting in axes and points and planes to allow us to set a solid foundation from which to build up the rest of the part. So what I'm doing now is just dropping in a point from that mid plane, and that's going to be set on that axis and to a distance of excuse me, that is going to be set to a distance of So I'm just checking the engineering drawing. 37.5. Okay. Okay. Next up, what we are going to do is sketching on our front plane. We are going to drop in a circle over here. That has a diameter of 40 and it's going to be 130 away from our midplane. Okay. And this tube has a wall thickness of 5. Okay, accept. Okay, choose that sketch we just created and we are going to extrude that to a distance of 140 and then we're going to add in another blind depth. Go to options, side 2, blind, and that is going to be set to 90. Okay, and we're just going to mirror that across the other side of the midplane, the front plane. Okay. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to be dropping in a point here. Okay, and very specifically 100.44 and 120.6. Okay, on the front plane. Right, now what we're going to do now is as part of the downloadable resources for the course, I have a series of images, and these are effectively tools to help us position the various pipeworks of this frame that I've created from the original model that I created. So what I want you to do, there is a tool within the image with dotted lines that is going to allow us to set a best fit for this image, and it allows us to scale that. So there's a figure there as well, 520.42. Fill that in and that will scale the image to the correct size we need, and then we can use the image to locate and position that within the model. So this is obviously on the top plane and we're using the features I've just created to position that image. There we go. It doesn't need to be 100% accurate, just get it as close as possible. Press accept, and now we have that top image on. We are going to import again on the front plane. Go to working directory, front view image. We are going to scale that accordingly. Go to fit. Move that line to where it should be. I've added in that reference for you already, so just zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Move that to where it should be, mid of that line there, other side, mid of that line there. Yeah, looks good. And then we just change that to 420.42, sorry, excuse me, 520.42, which scales our image accordingly, and then we can move that in to where we want to. What you'll notice is, yeah, we can use this to there's that point that we just created. There is that tube. Yeah, brilliant. We just want that, generally speaking, in the right position. Okay, and you'll notice that the top right pipe that we created is actually a bit small for the moment. That's by design. Don't worry about that for now. But that looks really good. Okay. This is going to really, really help us later down the line. So it is a must-do for you guys when creating the motorcycle frame. Right. And now what I'm going to do is just fill in the rest of this pipe here. So just project all of those. Accept that, accept, extrude. And that extrudes to another 30 mil. Wonderful. And then we can just mirror that across the mid-plane there that we created and accept. Okay. Right. Brilliant. We have that framework in place. Okay, but we still have one more image that we need to bring in for the right plane. So what we are going to do is just very quickly get ourselves back into the model. Go to the View tab, Model Display, Images, import, choose the right frame, go to your working directory, make sure to choose the right view. And now again, it's just a matter of putting that into the correct position, holding shift to snap that to vertical, okay. And same again, we just want to fit that correctly, so choose fit. And we are going to move that to the right position. Set that to the mid of that line. And same again up here. Set that to the mid of that line. And that is a measurement of 444.35 millimeters. All right, and now what we can do is just drag that into position, zoom in, be accurate with it as much as you can be, just, yeah, position that as best you can. That looks, I mean, pretty good already. Yeah, happy with that, press OK. And now what we have is on the 3 working planes that we have each view of the final product, which is going to help us to style this as accurately as we can. So first off, let's get ourselves into the style tool. Set our active plane as the front plane, and what we're going to do is start off with the point that we first created. We are going to style a curve following this pipe here, all the way down to the bottom, holding shift and connecting to that bottom point that we created. Accept. Obviously that is affixed to the that plane. But what we're going to do, and hold that shift, yeah, connect back to that point there. Very important. Now what we're going to do is, same again, hold shift, snap to that point. What we are going to do now is set that tail to be normal to the active plane. move that into the right direction. Okay, and that's going to move the curve we've created off of that active plane. Set that to normal. There we go. And what we're going to do, slowly but surely, and watch how I do it, is we are going to move each of the various points of this curve into position following the images that we've dragged into our working space to form that shape. So very slowly, very surely. And what you're going to see me doing is I'm going to constantly change between top view, front view, and right view so that I can drag these points into position, into space, and this will de facto have our first tube here accurately positioned. My advice to you would be just to take your time. Don't rush this process, and through the nature of the style tool, if you do think that you have a slight error in your work, you can always go back and re-edit the definition of this tube. So again, I'm just going to sort of focus up here and continue moving this into position. Okay, I think we're nearly there. I've just been sort of playing around with that, as you see. Just slowly, surely getting all that together. And yeah, I think we're probably at a point now where, yeah, pretty happy with that. Use the images as your reference points completely. And then it's just a matter of sweeping the styled curve. Orientate the view. And we are going to do a tube that is going to be 35 with an inner wall thickness of 5. Okay, accept, and that sweeps all the way across. Wonderful. As you see, it sort of cuts slightly into that tube. Think of that as a weld. We'll be rounding that later. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then we just mirror that across to finish off that feature. And as you can see from all of the other tubes within the frame, the motorcycle frame, we've got a lot more styling to do. First off, I think I just want to get this tube feature in, so dropping it off, generally speaking, where it should be. That is, yeah, follow the engineering drawing. Sorry, I didn't mean to finish it off so quickly. I want to get in the outside of this too, and that is going to be set to 30. Okay, now I can extrude, and that is going to be another blind. Blind. Get ourselves to right view, and we can see exactly where we want that to be. So that would be what, 120 and 60. Wonderful, accept that. And again, we just want to mirror that across, really. No, not yet, just want to finish off the internal feature. Let's reference those. Hang on, project. That's good enough for a reference. So that's 8. Extrude, opposite direction to 5. Okay. And then just mirror all of those features across. Oh, hold on, we might need to just group those together. Hold on. Oh, it doesn't like the sketch. No, I'm just missing sections of it. Okay, there we go. Accept that. All of that gets mirrored across. Brilliant. And from that, we are then able to set a point and finish off a second style. So choose the point tool. We're going to drop a point there, use the mid-plane as the reference point. This point is on that axis, remember? And that is going to be set to 37.5. Minus 37.5, okay. So that will be where one end of the style curve will fix, and then we want a point on this axis over here. Let's choose that edge there as the reference point, and that is going to be set as minus 17.5, sorry, minus 17.5, there we go, okay. What I want to do at the moment is just add in a plane. That's going to be set to hold on while I figure this one out. So I'm just going back to the engineering drawing, 1 second. Yeah, we want a plane through that axis, and we are going to set that there we go, to 115. And what I'm going to do is just edit the definition of that, and I'm going to go to the display tab, and I'm going to adjust the outline set a reference, and just bring that to the scale of this tube feature here, so we don't massively overclutter our workspace. Okay, now we can move forward, and we are going to do the style tool again, and starting off, set our front view, curve, holding shift and connecting to these various points. We're just going to move along, curve edit, bring that all the way to that point, holding shift to connect properly. Okay, and same again over here, just shift, connect that to that point. Okay. All right. First off, clicking that point there, I want that tail to be normal to the plane we just created. There we go. As you can see, and then I want to click the other point, and we are going to set that. Oh, hold on, no, I haven't clicked on the actual point. 1 second. There we go, normal to that front plane. Okay. Now, just like with the other style tool, it's just a matter of manipulating that curve to fit around the geometry that we can see in these images. So work on it, keep switching between top, front and right views, and you will be absolutely fine. Okay, slowly, surely, I think I'm getting to a point where I am confident and happy with that. Yeah, okay, press OK. Press OK again when you are happy. And then we are going to go through and sweep that curve. And that is going to be set to the same thickness and diameter. That's going to be 35. Sorry, this one's going to be 30. And that has a wall thickness of 4. Okay. So slightly smaller than the above pipe. Accept. All right. That is looking really, really good. Really, really good. Well done, everyone. Now we're just going to select all of those points, the planes, the style, and the sweep, and we're going to mirror the whole shebang right across. All right. Okay, next up, we're bringing another plane in, and this is for the opposing pipe. We're going to set that at an angle offset of 50. Readjust that outline and use that pipe there as a reference. Okay. And right, next up, we just have a point to add in. No, not on the surface, hold on. This third styled pipe we want to do cuts through this first pipe we did. So what I want to do is choose the point tool, but we're going to have to use the right click. While we are in the point tool, we're going to have to right click, until we find the curve within the pipe, within that sweep. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. I'm trying to find it, right click, there we go. And then you can see we are able to click a point onto that style. So right click allows us to flick through the features that are currently underneath our mouse button. Okay. Right. So we set that point to a relative position along that curve of 0.55. We can now move on with the next style curve, and that is, I'm just going to set the active plane, choose the curve tool, starting off, holding shift, connecting to that point, and then click, shift click to connect to that point, and then click and click again to finish that off. Okay, accept that, and then we go straight back into curve edit. I'm going to choose that tail, set that to normal against that plane. Yeah. Hold on, I'm just moving that, holding shift to connect that to that plane to begin with because it wasn't in the right space. And I'm just going to move that tail as it's normal back into the right direction. Okay. Looking a bit awkward, but now our job is to flick between views and move this line, this curve into the right position. So starting off, maybe start here again. Just going to keep going around, moving these into position. That needs to be normal to the second plane we created there. As you can see, well done. Let's go for right view. And you can see how we need to reposition these points. Let's have a look at the other direction. There we go. Yeah. That needs to be a bit higher. That is going to come up around there. Yes. Yes. Okay, I think for the moment I'm kind of happy with how that has been positioned, so I'm going to accept all of that and I'm going to go straight in and I'm going to sweep, orientate my view, zoom in, and this is going to be a diameter of 25, and again it's got a wall thickness of we're going for a wall thickness of 4 again, so accept that. And now we see our pipe running through, looking pretty good, accept that. And I'm just looking at this, am I happy with how this has turned out? Yeah, pretty much for the moment. So what I'm going to do is choose all of the elements that came together to create this part, select them all in the model tree, and then mirror that across. Okay, this is really coming together, guys. Well done. Keep it up. Just moving this ever so slightly. Yeah, I think that's just a bit more in the right position. Remember, these styles are all editable, so, you know, again, make sure you have those images dropped into your workspace correctly. Otherwise, you are going to have a bad time. But you are able to go back and rectify any slight errors at any point, which is good. So, moving on, we are now going to be dropping in a lot of points. Right click, make sure they are always on the curve and not on the surface of the tube. And use the engineering drawing to reference the correct relative positions, the ratioed positions along the curve. Because as you can see, we've got a fair bit of pipe work that we need to create up and around and in between the various frames and tubes of the motorcycle frame, I should say. Right click. Oh, hang on, new point. Right click. Click. Okay, good. Yeah, you can see the relative positions there. And we've obviously got one more point to drop in. Right click. Okay, onto that curve, not to the surface of the tube. Can't stress that enough, and that is a 0.45 ratio right there. Okay, got one down here. Right click, come on. Right click. Could you just please behave? There we go. And that is going to be set at 0.75 down there. Okay, that's fine for the moment. We've got another point to put in, but we'll do that later. So how are we going to do these? Well, there is a specific process to this. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just going to put that point in now. 1 second. Point. Click. And that is going to be set at a ratio of 0.6. Oh, hang on. 0.65. Okay. And we've got one on this curve here, and that is at 0.75. Okay. Lots of points, but that's all fine. That's what we want. So, first off, style tool. And what I'm going to do is just do a curve connecting that point to that point to start off with. Good. A new curve, that point to that point, except as you see, as it's between 2 points, they are straight lines, point to point. Oh, no, hang on. Bugger, cancel that. Connect that point, zoom in, that point there, not on the surface of the tube. Okay. Except. Now, quite specifically, what we now need to do is create a plane by clicking the point first and then the style line that we've just created, that straight line curve. And that will create a plane that is normal to that curve and through the point we've created. And I'm just going to redefine the perimeter of that plane to be close to that curve. So as you see, I've started a new plane. I click the point, then holding Control, I click the line, and that allows me to bring in a plane that is, again, normal to that curve, so that straight line, and through that point. And we're going to do that one more time. Click on the plane tool, click on that point, and then click on the line, holding Control, and redefine the outline of that plane. Brilliant, well done. And then what we are able to do from that is sketch on those planes we've just created. We're able to find the point, find the line that will help us center everything. Right. Hold on. We're just going to go straight in and choose the circle tool. It will snap to that point, set that to a diameter of 25, accept, and we are very simply just going to extrude that up into that top tube there and accept. Brilliant. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the others as well. All right, that worked out pretty well. A little bit of a process to set all of that up, but once you understand that process, it's actually quite simple. And now we're just going to select all of that, all of what we've just done there, all of those points that we've created, and we're going to mirror all of that across to the other side of our model. Press OK, and that sorts that right out. Well done. Okay, so at this stage, I just want to get ready. We are going to do the style curve that is going to be the foundation of the rear section of frame. So we are going to choose the style tool, set the active plane, and we are going to create a curve, shift and connect to that point, and then just follow the image here all the way along to the very end. You don't need many points. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points on there. Press accept, and then we're going to curve edit, and I just want to make sure holding shift I'm snapping that to the the plane. As you see, it now has a square on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to excuse me. Yeah, that tail is going to be set normal, and then that there, I believe, is not going to be set normal to anything. We're just going to have that, generally speaking, follow the right direction. And we are just going to, keep changing our viewpoint to allow us to really make sure that this curve follows the right directions and the right positions. Okay, I think that is pretty much there. So at this point now, we are going to sweep. So choose the style, sweep tool, and then we're going to zero in on that point, and we are going to draw in the profile of the sweep. That has a diameter of 25, but we also have a wall thickness of, I think, 3 or 4. 3. Okay, brilliant, 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 brilliant. That works out really well. Press OK. Yeah, that's looking really good. And what we're able to do again is just choose that style, choose the sweep, and mirror that across to finish off that feature. Wonderful. So next up for us, we again have a series of points that we need to add to the curve. So right click to find the curve, and let's just drop in the points. Refer back to the engineering drawing to get the exact positions, or just, watch what I'm doing. First is point 8. New point, right click to find the curve. Okay, next is, that works out pretty straight away. And one more, and that is set at 0.15. Okay, wonderful. So next up, we are going to style that bottom curve. So choosing the style tool, set the active plane, and this is going to again follow the standard procedure that we are now used to. So just crack on with that. Make sure that everything is fixed properly. Okay, that is fine. I am eventually happy with that. We are now going to sweep that and set that. This is just going to be a solid tube, I think, and that's just going to be 25, except let that extrude out. Okay. Wonderful. See how it sort of bows in a little bit at the end there? That's what we're looking for. Next up, again, we have some points to put in. Okay, and now that we have those points in, just as we did with the front of the motorcycle frame, what we need to do is set some styled straight lines between those opposing points. So that's going to be a series of curves, 1, 2, 3, 4 curves. And then from that, we are going to create a plane that is normal to that line and through the point, okay? Okay, so we have the lines, we have the planes, we have the points, we've adjusted the outline of those planes, and now it's just a simple matter of sketching out each of these tubes, and that is set to a diameter of 20. Accept that, and we basically just extrude that, not removing material, thank you. Extrude that through until it reaches and goes into the center of that upper tube. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing again for all of the other parts. Alright, and that there is the final section of the rear part of the frame. Looking really, really, really good. Yeah, looking really good. Very happy with that. And then it's just a matter of finding all from the points. Let's see here. Yeah, including those points. Not the mirror, all the way down. All of those sections within the model tree are mirrored. And that finishes off that section there really nicely. Press save. Absolutely fantastic. It's looking really, really good, but there's still a fair bit of work for us to do, so we have to continue. Okay, so sketching on the front plane here, I'm just referencing the tube there as it meets in the middle. And what we're doing is effectively creating just a sheet of metal on which is going to be mounted the shock absorber. The shock absorber connects to that sort of feature you can see as part of the image. So what we're doing at the moment is just setting up the position of this sheet of metal. So just follow clearly, use the engineering drawing, and it should be relatively simple, frankly. All right. So we have the main profile there. We're extruding that out, and it's very much just a matter of extruding that symmetrically into that pipe there. So it's just a simple plate of metal from which we can put the rest of our features. We were nice and accurate with the positioning of that. That is something you have to be very careful of. Okay, very good. So next up, I want to, we're going to be sketching on the underside of that plate. There we go, choose that sketch, orientate our view, and just reference the middle plane and reference that edge there. Solve that, close, and I'm just going to drop in a circle. That's going to be set to 40 mil, and from that edge there is going to be 28, okay. And just checking the engineering drawing, we want to extrude that by a depth of 20. Okay. Wonderful. See how that sort of slots in nicely there? And then we are going to just drop in a couple of quick rounds, as you can see there. That was nice and straightforward. Okay. And then what we're going to do is sketch on the front plane, zoom back into position, and I'm just going to reference the center and various sections of that tube we just extruded out, and I'm just going to add on these two circles, 20 diameter and a diameter of 13. And these are positioned pretty specifically. And what I'm going to do now also is just drop in a couple of small circles on either side, which are just going to act as effectively pre-rounds. They're going to be tangentially positioned As you can see, that's 4. And we're doing the exact same thing on the other side. So drop in a circle, have that tangentially connect to the surface of the circle and the plane there. Set that to a diameter of 4. And then I'm just going to draw a line that will connect those two there. Brilliant. And then it's just a matter of deleting the sections we don't need. Okay, right, and then we can extrude that. Nice. Really, really nice. Add in a blind, and that goes to 6. Okay. Excuse me. When we're happy, we can accept that, and then it's just a matter of mirroring that around that plane. Okay, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, adding that tube in was relatively straightforward, so I didn't want to sort of narrate the entire experience, but once we've added that in, we're going to be adding another point at the base there, 12.5 up from the base, and we want to add a point here, offset from that original point that we have there. Click that plane, and then it's going to be offset from that plane, connected to that point there, and set that to a distance of 60 mil. And it is that point and the other point that we've created that we are going to use to sort out another styled curve. Okay. So what we are going to do is go up and choose the style tool, set the active plane, orientate ourselves to that active plane, and we are going to create a curve connecting those 2 points. So start there, a couple of points going down, and then connecting to U. Hold Shift, Oh, hang on. Control Z. Shift, connect to you. Oh, you're not very happy. Let's just reorientate our view. Let's just end the point there, and then we can connect it ourselves. So hold Shift, there we go, and that snaps to that point. And we're going to set that as a normal constraint to that plane there. For that tail, okay, and then here we go again, normal constraint to that plane there. Very, very good. And as you know, now is a matter of just making sure that we have this curve following the form of our image here. Okay, and once we're happy, we're going to sweep that curve, sketch, orientate our view, and that is going to be 25, and an inner tube with a thickness of 5. Okay, wonderful. Okay, pretty happy with that. Now I'm just selecting all of those features within the model tree and just mirroring that across. Next up, we're doing this bottom feature that we can see here, which is part of the shock absorber connection. It's relatively straightforward, this bit, so I'm not going to sort of talk you through it too much. We're just referencing the bottom pipe, as you see here. And then everything else is based effectively around that. Yeah, nice and simple. Okay, brilliant. Now that we have that bottom section shock absorber connector section finished, we have a couple of profile ribs we want to add over here, connecting to that main tube and then to that bottom section there. Just really a matter of getting that in correctly. Set that to a profile rib. Yeah, that's in the right direction. And then what we're going to set that to what 5 mil, easy. Okay, accept. And we have one more of these to do as well. Okay, so I think we are very, very nearly finished. We just have one more tube which we've left yet to do, connecting these 2 points. It's the same process as a lot of these inner points. It's just a matter of creating a plane that cuts through that point and that line we've just created. Let's adjust the outline of that plane to be a bit more manageable. And then we extrude out. Alright, so we have created a plane that goes through that tube we have created, and we want to sketch on that. And I just want to reference that there and there, the center line and that plane there. And what I'm going to do is just drop in a line. Oh, hold on, reference that as well. Excuse me. We're just going to drop a line in that follows parallel to that line. And oh, hold on, I don't want this to snap to anything. Not yet anyway. I want that 5 mil away from the edge, and I want that point to be 20 mil away from that plane, and I want the length of that line to be 30 mil. Then we have another line in the middle there, construction line of 70 mil, and we have another normal line which is going to follow that, and that is going to be staying parallel. Oh god, there we go, stay parallel. That is going to be the same, very good, except that. And I want to extrude that. Oh, but it doesn't, yeah. I think because I added the 2 sections, it doesn't quite like it. So what I'm going to do is go back, and I'm just going to delete that one there, except, and just extrude that single one, yeah, which is fine. And yeah, sorry, extrude that as a solid, thickened to a thickness of 2, and that's extruding down 40 mil, and accept that. And what we're going to do is just draw in that second section like we wanted to anyway. So just reference that. And I can just draw in a line across that there. And it's very easy to dimension that like we wanted to. 30 mil, and that is going to have a distance of 70 from there, except, and then we're just going to extrude that again with a thickness of 2 and a depth of 40. Oh, make sure it's extruding in the right direction, which that is not. There we go. Just double check things like that, because that can get annoying later down the line if you make errors now. Okay. Yeah, see, that needs to be flipped. Flip again. Okay, good. Okay, they're both extruded in the right direction, which means we can move on, and we just have a couple of circle features we want to add on to this, which should be, you know, pretty straightforward. So we're just going to sketch onto that surface. Actually, first off, we're going to get a point to position this for us. Edge to edge, 15 and 15 as a midpoint. And we're going to do the exact same thing again over here. So add a new point on there, and from the edge and from the other edge too, that is going to be set 15 to 15, and that's just to help us locate the center of our circle when we sketch on this. Yeah, that's good, very good. So as I say, we're just going to sketch on that surface and we are going to use those points as centers, like that. And these features are very, very simple to do. Okay, and finally, that is effectively, well, we just need to mirror that across, which we've now done. let's hide all of those, and that was a very complicated piece of work right there, and this was a bit of a challenge definitely to kick us all off with, but this is the foundation piece of our entire motorbike. It's the frame. It's going to look bloody amazing when it's finished, and it's a really great job for you guys to have got this far. I'm just going around and now removing all of those images so that we can focus up on our final product, which is the motorcycle frame. I wish I could say that the rest of the parts we're going to be creating are going to be a lot easier than this, but quite frankly, this is kind of setting the bar, and the reason I wanted you to do this first is so that you really got to understand the kind of work that is involved with creating a motorbike in CAD. And that is a lot of work. So well done, really fantastic job. I will see you in the next video as we continue creating the parts for the motorbike, and I'm really excited for it. Let's go.